one of the most famous Ukrainian relics, shrouded by many mysteries. Frauds that are of a major concern for dozens of modern-day scholars. A master whose works are incomprehensible for human perception. 19 domes of a church built in the 11th century in the Baroque style that stores under its vaults the largest and most complete ensemble of authentic mosaic and fresco paintings in the world. The fresco paintings of the 17th and 18th centuries give the variety an interesting diversity. All these elements of interior design narrate the history of one of the most significant relics of the Christian world of Eastern Europe, the St. Sophia Cathedral in Kiev. It continues to produce new mysteries and new secrets. There was once a state called Rus. It was ruled by knazi, or princes, who upheld and followed pagan customs. They established their capital in the fine city of Kiev. Merchants in those times traded products from the country along the Dnipro River all the way to the Black Sea, and then ended up in the Byzantine city of Constantinople. Although these princes traded and sometimes fought with Christian Byzantines, they refused to adopt their faith. The rule was transferred to pagan princes after Askold had supposedly converted to Christianity and died as a martyr. Rus did not accept the Christian faith at that time. Princess Olha became a ruler after the death of her husband Ihor. With her woman's heart, she accepted the Saviour and converted to Christianity. She strove to convert all her descendants into true faith. But her son Sviatoslav did not listen to his mother's wishes or advice. He was more interested in war, and he had hoped for the assistance of his pagan gods to gain victory. Prince Sviatoslav indeed won many battles for some time, but he was bound to eventually suffer a drastic defeat. He lost his last battle and was killed by Pechenik warriors. Olha's grandson Volodymyr did not listen to his wise grandmother, lived a dissolute life, prayed and made sacrifices for pagan gods. However, the years had passed, and his grandmother's prayers struck the heart of the ruler, and he found God. Prince Volodymyr repented his sins, was baptized, and made Christianity a true faith for the people of Rus. Since then, Ruthenians converted to Christianity, and they began building churches to glorify their God and the Holy Mother. The son of Prince Volodymyr, who was named Yaroslav the Wise, decided to build the St. Sophia Cathedral and dedicated it to the wisdom of God, the beauty of which would match the shrines of Constantinople. He invited the most prominent masters, bricklayers, carpenters, and iconographers to build this church. They carefully followed the instructions of the prince, because they were building it not only for him, but for God. In Kiev, the cathedral of never-before-seen beauty was completed and opened in 1037. This story, in the literary edition by editor and children's author Halia Maniv, narrates how St. Sophia's Cathedral was built. Dedicated experts described the story of the construction of this historical and architectural wonder in greater detail. Famous Ukrainian art historian and granddaughter of Ukrainian painter Anton Kashai, Olena Kashai, is convinced that we have such a relic today in Kiev thanks to the Byzantians. Prince Volodymyr the Great brought the Rus the faith of Christianity, wonderful architecture and artistic values that existed in the Byzantine Empire for centuries. Moreover, one of the values was innovative technologies such as the principle of stone building. There was nothing similar to this technology at the time. Notably, the prototype of St. Sophia Cathedral was the Sophia of Constantinople. However, experts believe that it is not only the shrine that reminds one of the Constantinople prototype. The whole city of Kiev should have been an equal to the capital of the Byzantine Empire. According to Olena Kashai, Yaroslav the Wise received a grand heritage from his father. Nonetheless, it was not material, but more ideological and related to the image. It was Volodymyr who invited the Byzantine masters, who created the Church of the Tithes. It was the technological innovation, where new technology of building was practiced. Yaroslav had to keep this heritage and double it twice. It was his idea to implement grand building concepts, according to which Kiev should have turned into Ruthenian Tsargrad. The axes that had golden gates set in a side was built at that moment. Those were used as a front entrance to the city. Further foreigners saw the vector where two large churches were built, St. Irene and St. George both on the left and the right sides. The St. Sophia Cathedral was intended to be some kind of a crown in this architectural ensemble. An interesting fact, the Pechenegs, who ended the life of pagan warrior Prince Sviatoslav, assisted in the building of the Orthodox holy place. In a way, however, their participation was indirect. The tale of bygone years states that the location of St. Sophia's Cathedral was chosen for a certain reason. It was a place where Yaroslav defeated the Turkic-speaking nomads in 1036, who had for many years attacked Rus. By the next year, he founded a cathedral, which became one of the main sanctuaries of Christianity in all of Eastern Europe. Although Constantinople's Sophia, built by Byzantines, was a prototype for a cathedral in Kiev, St. Sophia's Cathedral in Kiev had overshadowed its elder sister. Masters have united mosaic and fresco painting in the Cathedral of the Rus, which was not something Byzantines did. The walls, ceilings, and even the floors were decorated with mosaics that played with different rainbow colours. The golden cupolas of the cathedral dazzled the viewers. The signature aspect was, and always will be, the 6-metre majestic image of the Holy Mother before the altar, called orans. It is clothed in blue chiton, a purple enveloping robe and red shoes. The Holy Mother stands on a special rise with her hands lifted up to the sky. Regardless of where you are standing, her gaze will follow you. It appears that she is sitting on a throne when you stand close to her. Such an effect is achieved due to 3 relief waves that are spread within an apsis. These details and many other elements show the highest level of mastery of those who, while building this temple, took into account not only the illumination of different fresco paintings, but also the angle in which it becomes illuminated. The work requires pinpoint accuracy, an incredible pace of work, and a high and keen level of mastery. Foremost, builders aligned the surface of the wall with 1 layer of plaster. Then they added 1 more layer of plaster, where they executed a fresco painting. It was, in some way, a sketch for the future work. The image had to be made from smalt blocks. This process was magical, as it was executed to ingenious scientific precision. What is more, the average person cannot comprehend and explain what they see when looking at the orans. It is obvious that such a result was achieved by extremely meticulous and careful artistic design and architectural planning. So smalt is a glass obtained from a mixture of a melted glass mass of salt and different metal oxides. The colour scheme of smalt in the orans contains 177 tones, including 34 tones of green, 25 golden and brown tones, 23 yellow tones, and 19 red tones, as well as 9 silver tones and 6 purple tones. There is no other mosaic piece of art like this one in the world. Experts have counted that the masters used about 2 million smalt blocks. Their size is not significant. It is approximately 1 cubic millimetre or 1.5 cubic millimetres. The background and face features were laid out from these small blocks. The golden background, large elements of clothes and other elements were composed from larger blocks. Here it is certainly worth mentioning how the golden smalt was made. The Holy Mother image has a lot of golden colour, therefore there should be a lot of golden smalt. Notably, it is not easy to make golden smalt. Every plate of different colours of smalt was covered with thin golden foil, covered with crushed glass at the top, and this plate was baked once again. The technology of production was invented in Byzantium, and materials were made in Rus by local masters under the exclusive supervision of Byzantium representatives. The transportation of gold and smalt from Byzantium was not justifiable or profitable from an economic point of view at the time. However, the St. Sophia Cathedral did not simply overshadow Sophia of Constantinople. The key of Holy Mother is unique and different from Byzantine and other countries' examples. All unique images are relatively conventional or generalized and have a very specific schematic structure, be it the mosaic in the Basilia of San Vitale in Ravenna or the mosaics that can be seen in Constantinople churches. Key of Orange is completely different from them. It presents another type of Holy Mother image, which differentiated Ukrainians from Byzantines and then from Europeans. She is displayed not only as the defender of a whole nation, but also as a mother to whom any child can come with their problems and questions and ask for protection and help. The small white scarf with red ornament pattern is fixed to Holy Mother's belt. She is standing on rushnik, a traditional Ukrainian embroidered scarf with ornaments on its sides. There is a quadrant cover over the head of the Holy Mother, which is decorated with red saddlebow straps and 3 red stripes. These details are quite distinctive from the orange image of the Slavic group that eventually became known as Ukrainians. Famous writer, church historian, enlightener and traveller Andrei Maravyov, who visited Kiev in the second half of the 19th century, wrote about the Kiev Orange as follows: "The height of the Holy Mother is immense, similar to all her deeds in Rus. She stands on a golden stone set in a firm foundation for anyone who lives under her protection. Her chiton is of a sky blue colour, her belt is dark red, and has a sash on which she dries many tears. There are blue armlets on her hands that are raised to the sky. The golden cover sinks on her head, turned upside down like an enveloping robe on her left shoulder, on the sign of her mantle, wider than clouds, accompanied by a chant of church psalms. A bright star shines on the Holy Mother's forehead, with 2 stars on her shoulders, because she is herself the mother of abiding light, and she was the dawn of an abiding sun. The title made by the order of the Kiev Prince accompanies it. God among them will not hesitate. God will help them at dawn." This inscription was related to the city. However, Kiev residents ascribed this inscription to the image of the Holy Mother. The legend says that while Holy Mother is standing, who was also called the Unbreakable Wall, Kiev will stand as well. Some people believe in this legend, and others do not believe in that this was a true fact of history. However, there were moments when this legend was tested by time and events had occurred over the years. Aside from the Holy Mother and other saints, the walls of St. Sophia's Cathedral are decorated with paintings of the Kiev Prince and his family. Many people considered that it was Yaroslav the Wise that was depicted there for a long period of time. Despite this, many scholars doubted this fact. This secret is not the only one in this sacred place. Scholars proposed a number of theories, while arguing as to who built this sacred object and when. Literary editor Halina Maniv in her work writes, "It was then when in Kiev the cathedral of such never-before-seen beauty was built in the year 1037. However, according to the tale of bygone years, the cathedral was only founded in 1037. Halina Maniv is not a historian, and such inaccuracy with the words built and founded can easily be dismissed. However, the Novgorod Chronicles state that this event took place in 1017, so the question remains, which of these dates are historically correct? This is obviously a question that is worthy of an independent investigation.